In 1977, Madonna Louise Ciccone came to New York with only $35 in her pocket and a dream. She told the taxi driver, "Take me to Times Square." But when the money ran out, she had to get off halfway. That night, she slept on a cold park bench, and when she woke up in the morning, her shoes had been stolen. If you can survive in New York, you can survive anywhere, she thought. 40 years later, she sits on her throne as the Queen of Pop, having sold over 300 million albums. This is the story of how $35 transformed into one of the world's biggest careers. But this story isn't just an adventure that started with $35. This is the story of a young girl who grew up in a Catholic family in Michigan, was rejected by her father, worked pizza delivery for years, posed for nude photo shoots. The woman who shocked MTV, angered the Catholic Church, and broke all taboos. So how did that shy Michigan girl become the material girl? How did she shock the world with Like a Virgin and that legendary Blonde Ambition tour? How did Madonna transform from just a singer into a cultural revolution? In this story, you'll learn how losing her mother at a young age affected her, why she left her dance scholarship at the University of Michigan to escape to New York, how she survived in her early years, pizza delivery, nude modeling, dancing in nightclubs, also that first big opportunity, how a record producer noticed her at a club where she was DJing, how the song Everybody swept through the underground dance scene, how she caused worldwide scandal with Like a Virgin, and of course, those provocative periods, burning crosses in the Like a Prayer video, the madness created by the sex book, her war with the Catholic Church, kissing Britney Spears, her Kabbalah beliefs, her marriage to Guy Ritchie. This isn't just a music career story. This is the story of a woman who constantly reinvented herself, never stayed stagnant, and presented a different version of herself every decade. Virgin in the 80s, Evita in the 90s, Confessions in the 2000s, MDNA in the 2000s and 10s. How does Madonna still take the stage and teach young artists at 60? How did she become music history's most successful female artist by selling 300 million albums? And most importantly, how did she transform from just a singer into a brand, a philosophy, a way of life? Are you ready? Because Madonna's story concerns not only dreamers, but also those who have the courage to pursue these dreams. Madonna. Louise Ciccone was born on August 16, 1958, in Bay City, Michigan. She was growing up in a large Catholic family. She had 6 siblings. Her father, Tony Ciccone, was of Italian descent. Her mother, Madonna Fortin, was French-Canadian. When Madonna was only 5 years old, the biggest trauma of her life occurred. Her mother, Madonna, died of breast cancer. This event deeply affected little Madonna and perhaps laid the foundation for her future rebellious character. "My mother's death changed me a lot," she would say years later. "From that moment on, I could never fully trust anyone. I had to accomplish everything myself." Her father Tony soon married Joan Gustafson. Madonna never liked her stepmother. She began to feel alone at home and started doing various things to get attention. She was a different child at school. She was successful in classes but also rebellious. Her teachers described her as intelligent but problematic. Madonna, from an early age, loved to stand out, to be the center of attention. In high school, she started dancing. A dance teacher named Christopher Flynn noticed Madonna's talent and showed her special interest. Flynn was also gay and showed Madonna a different world, a freer, more artistic world. Christopher taught me, that I could be different in my life, Madonna would say. Thanks to him, I learned to dance and express myself. After graduating from high school in 1976, she entered the University of Michigan on a dance scholarship. Here she received training in classical ballet and modern dance. But Madonna was getting bored with university life. It was too slow, too limited for her. At the end of her second year, she made the biggest decision of her life. She would leave university and go to New York. This decision greatly angered the family. Her father, Tony, was furious. Dancing can be a hobby, but it's not a real career. Finish university, become a teacher. But Madonna was determined. In the summer of 1977, with $35 in her pocket and a small bag, she got on a bus to New York. When she arrived in New York, Madonna faced real shock. After the small-town life in Michigan, New York was too big, too chaotic, and too expensive. She spent her first night on a park bench near Times Square. When she woke up in the morning, her shoes had been stolen. Walking barefoot on Manhattan streets, she thought for a moment, "I wish I had stayed in Michigan." But then she pulled herself together. "No, I came here for a purpose." The first place she needed was to find a job. She started working at Dunkin' Donuts, earning $2 a day. At night, she shared a small apartment in the East Village with 3 people. There was no hot water, no heating. In winter, she used newspapers instead of a coat. "I never forget those days," she would say. "I was dying of hunger, I was cold, but I was giving myself strength, saying I was chasing my dream." A few months later, she found a better job, as a secretary at a music company in Midtown. But her real goal was different. She wanted to dance and make music. In the evenings, she went to dance classes. On weekends, she hung out at nightclubs in Greenwich Village, trying to get to know the underground music scene. In 1978, a great opportunity came her way. She was hired as a backup dancer for French disco star Patrick Hernandez. They were even going to take her to Paris. But the experience in Paris was a disappointment. Madonna was not happy being a backup dancer. "I'm not someone who will stand in the background," she said, returning to New York. After returning to New York, Madonna focused on making music. She had dance experience, but she was an amateur when it came to music. She started playing guitar, tried to write lyrics. In 1979, she met Dan Gilroy. Dan was an experienced musician and taught Madonna a lot. Together, they formed a group called Breakfast Club. Madonna initially played drums, then became a vocalist, but there were tensions within the group. Madonna wanted to control the lyrics, the melodies, the stage performance. Other group members didn't receive this well. Madonna was very ambitious, Dan Gilroy would say. She wanted to do everything herself. Group work wasn't for her. In 1980, she left Breakfast Club. She formed a new group with Stephen Bray, Emmy. This group was more under Madonna's control. They were making electronic music, dance pop genre. But money problems continued. She was delivering pizza at night, posing for nude photo shoots. These photos would cause her trouble years later after she became famous. But at that time, she was doing everything to survive. "I'm not ashamed of those photos," she would say. "They were artistic works, and I needed to survive." In 1982, the turning point came in Madonna's life. She met DJ Mark Kamens at a nightclub called Danceteria. Kamens listened to Madonna's songs and was very impressed. "This girl is special," said Kamens. "Her voice is different. Her energy is incredible." Kamens introduced Madonna to Michael Rosenblatt from Sire Records. Rosenblatt also liked Madonna and offered a single deal. The first single would be Everybody. Madonna was very excited, but also scared. What if it doesn't work? What if I waste this opportunity? When Everybody was released in 1982, it achieved unexpected success. It became a hit in New York's underground dance scene. It was constantly playing in nightclubs. People were dancing to this song. There was no photo of Madonna on the record cover. Only her name was written. Many people thought Madonna was a black woman because the song was very funky. This success opened the door to a bigger deal for Madonna. Sire Records offered a full album deal. In 1983, Madonna's first album was released, Madonna, under her own name. The album included songs like Holiday, Borderline, Lucky Star. The album was successful, and Madonna began to be recognized. But the real explosion came in 1984. Her second album, Like a Virgin, would create a huge shock in the music world. The song, Like a Virgin, was especially talked about. Madonna portrayed an innocent bride while making sexual associations at the same time. In the video clip, she danced in Venice in a wedding dress, but her looks and movements were very provocative. MTV initially didn't want to play the clip. Too provocative, they said, but they had to play it due to viewer demand. The clip became a big hit. The Catholic Church began to be uncomfortable with Madonna. "This girl is tarnishing Catholic values," they said, but Madonna didn't care. "I am free in my art," she said. "No one can limit me." By the mid-1980s, Madonna was already a cultural phenomenon. She wasn't just making music, she was creating fashion trends, questioning social norms. With the song and video clip Material Girl, she symbolized the consumption frenzy of the 80s. Pink dress, diamonds, luxury life. Madonna was saying material values were important, but she was also criticizing them. The Virgin Tour showed Madonna as a real performance artist. She was dancing on stage, changing costumes, interacting with the audience. This wasn't just a concert, it was a show. Young girls began to imitate Madonna. Crucifix necklaces, lace gloves, multi-layered clothes. Madonna wannabes were everywhere. "These girls are imitating me, but they're actually expressing themselves," Madonna said. "This makes me happy." When the Like a Prayer album was released in 1989, Madonna would create one of her biggest scandals. In the music video of the album's main song, she was using religious symbols: church, cross, stigmata. In the video clip, Madonna was dancing in the church, dancing with burning crosses, having a love affair with a black saint. The Catholic Church went crazy. Pope John Paul II openly criticized Madonna. "This music is contrary to Christian values," he said. Pepsi canceled its contract with Madonna. Many radio stations banned her songs, but these bans increased Madonna's popularity even more. "I'm not criticizing religion," Madonna said. "I'm criticizing the pressure the church puts on women." With the song Vogue in 1990, Madonna brought a new cultural movement into the mainstream. Voguing was a dance style that came from the gay community in Harlem, New York. Madonna learned this dance style and used it in her own song. Vogue became a big hit, and the voguing dance style spread all over the world. But there were also criticisms of this situation. Some people said Madonna was appropriating gay culture. "I didn't steal this culture," Madonna said. "I introduced it to wider audiences. This is a service." In 1992, Madonna undertook the most controversial project of her career, the Sex Book. This book contained her nude photos and described various fantasies. The book created a huge scandal. It was banned in many countries. Feminists criticized Madonna. "She's showing women as sex objects." "I'm claiming my own sexuality," Madonna said. This is my right. The book was commercially successful, but damaged Madonna's image. For a while, she received comments that she went too far. In 1996, there was a big change in Madonna's life. She became a mother. Her daughter Lourdes's father was Carlos Leon. Motherhood changed Madonna a lot. She began to become a more mature, more responsible person. Her music also reflected this transformation. When the Ray of Light album was released in 1998, it showed Madonna's new state, deeper, more spiritual songs. She had discovered Kabbalah belief. This album achieved great critical and commercial success. Madonna won Grammy Awards and experienced the second spring of her career. In 2000, she married British film director Guy Ritchie. This marriage moved Madonna to London and caused her to adopt a British accent. Her son Rocco was born in 2000. Madonna was now a mother of 2 children. She continued with music with the Music album. During this period, Madonna was less provocative. She had adopted the British aristocracy style. But critics didn't like this change. Madonna has lost her true identity, they said. In 2005, she entered the divorce process with Guy Ritchie. This drama in her personal life was reflected in her music. When the Confessions on a Dance Floor album was released in 2005, it showed Madonna's return to dance roots. The entire album was electronic dance music. The song Hung Up sampled a BBA's Gimme, Gimme, Gimme and became a big hit. Madonna was competing with young artists despite being 47 years old. In the 2000s, Madonna began charity work in Malawi. She adopted 2 children named David and Mercy. These works caused some criticism. Some said it was Celebrities Africa show. But Madonna spent serious money and really helped. She built schools in Malawi, established orphanages. These works became an important part of her life. In the 2010s, Madonna was afraid of aging. To compete with young pop stars, she had many surgeries and started exercising a lot. The MDNA album and tour showed this obsession with looking young. At 54, she was taking the stage and dancing with dancers in their 20s. Critics said she should act her age. Madonna replied, "Age is just a number." Today, Madonna is 65 years old and still performing on stage. Throughout her career, she has sold over 300 million albums and toured worldwide. Her greatest achievement is not music, but cultural impact. She paved the way for female artists to be freer. She gave them courage to talk about sexuality, religion, and politics. From Britney Spears to Lady Gaga, from Taylor Swift to Billie Eilish, all female pop stars have been influenced by Madonna. "I am a trailblazer," says Madonna. "I'm not afraid to be a pioneer." In New York, where she came with $35, she has now built a multi-million-dollar empire. Music, film, fashion, technology. She has projects in every field. But perhaps her most important legacy is this: doing what no one tells you don't do. Writing your own rules and never giving up. "I am the queen, and I will continue to be the queen," says Madonna. Age, criticism, nothing can stop me. What about you? Are you ready to pursue your own dreams? Do you have $35? Or will you find an excuse for that too? Madonna's story shows that the most important thing is not money, but courage. Courage and never-ending determination. Because sometimes to become a queen, you first have to sleep on the street. From a poor Catholic girl picking cotton fields to the undisputed queen of pop, who conquered the world, Madonna proved that authenticity, relentless ambition, and the refusal to be told no can overcome any obstacle. Her provocative voice may have softened with age, but her message continues to inspire millions. Be yourself, unapologetically. Challenge the status quo. And remember, if you can make it in New York with $35, you can make it anywhere. What's your story going to be?